Yo, what is happening, guys, and welcome back to the Undisputed Vlogs channel. And as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, I'll be giving my final predictions and thoughts on the Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley fight, which is Sunday, I believe it is. I think it's late Sunday night, early Monday morning for us in the UK. But yeah, I'll be giving my predictions. Now, you know, I reacted to some Jake Paul sparring footage. It wasn't much. And I reacted to some Tyron Woodley sparring footage. I also watched the open workouts. And I watched the press conference. And all of that. You know, the press conference, it has nothing to do with fight. It's just about a mental game, the trash talk, and that's all fun. But I watched the workouts. And what did I see from the workouts? I noticed from the workout. Tyron Woodley looks locked in. Like, Tyron Woodley looks like he is ready for this fight. Tyron Woodley looks far sharper than Jake Paul, which that's not really a surprise. We kind of assumed he would be sharper than Jake Paul, or at least look it, you know what I mean? Tyron Woodley looks in fucking shape, and he looks like he is, like I say, he's ready. He looks like he's ready to get in there and throw fucking hands. Jake looks confident. You gotta give it to him, you know? Jake is getting in there with Tyron Woodley. Now, Tyron Woodley lost his last, was it 3-4 fights or something like that in the UFC? You know, but he was still a UFC champion. You gotta give him that. Even though he lost his last few fights, he was still best in the world at one point at his weight division. He was world champion. He's beat the living shit out of some people. You know, you gotta respect him for it. Even though it is UFC and boxing is different, you still gotta respect as an athlete. From an athlete wise, you gotta respect him as an athlete. You know what I mean? So I think he's out here. I think he wants redemption for all that. I think he wants to fuck up Jake Paul. I think, personally, Tyron Woodley has more to lose. Everybody's saying Jake Paul has more to lose. I think Tyron Woodley has more to lose, because I think if Tyron Woodley loses, he's been beat up by the Disney kid, Jake Paul, because a lot of people still aren't taking Jake Paul serious. I think if Jake Paul loses, yeah, he's going to get clowned up. But I think a lot of people are actually going to give Jake Paul respect regardless of what happens in this fight, for even stepping in the ring with Tyron Woodley, because I would not. I wouldn't. You know, you pay me about 10 million, I'll consider it, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people wouldn't, rightfully so. So, you know what I mean? But Jake's confident. So yes, I think Tyron Woodley's looking sharper. He looks ready. Jake looks ready. Jake looks like he has all the confidence in the world. I genuinely believe, Tyron Woodley believes he's going to fuck Jake up in this fight easy and win. I genuinely believe when Jake says that he's confident and he's going to knock out Tyron Woodley, he believes that. I believe the both of them. I think that they're both in that mindset, you know. But here's the thing. Now, here is a little bit of a breakdown. Tyron Woodley is known as a striker, I guess, in the UFC, you know. He's punched the head off some people. But the thing that a lot of people are missing, I've seen a lot of people online saying, oh, Tyron Woodley, you know, he beat the shit out of some people in the UFC, he's going to smack Jake about. It is completely different standing up and fighting in the UFC to boxing, completely different. Now, when in the UFC, if Tyron Woodley was standing up fighting somebody and that person was out boxing, Tyron Woodley knew that he could literally take that guy down or prevent the takedown or whatever. There was more things to be aware of, yes, but it meant that you could also yourself rely on those things. Where in boxing, that ain't the case. It's punching and that's it. You can't kick. Like, Tyron Woodley even said he threw a spinning back fist in training, you know what I mean? Because, like, he's trying to adjust. So, I think Tyron Woodley definitely has to adjust to that. I think he's actually adjusted very well by what I've seen. But I also believe that Jake Paul's worked his ass off and he's adjusted. And we still have not seen Jake Paul properly fight. You know, like a proper contender. Like, he fought Deji. Deji didn't train. He just beat Deji up. Gib, I don't know what the fuck Gib did his crab dance. He beat Gib up. Nate Robinson, we all knew how that was going to go. Like, I don't know who the fuck thought Nate Robinson could beat Jake Paul just because he's a basketball player. Like, I was cheering for Nate. I'm a basketball guy. I had to cheer for Nate, but I even said before, I was like, he's getting put to sleep by Jake, and we all know it. And then he fought Ben Askren, and I'm like, Ben Askren's a funny guy, but he's going to get knocked out, and he did. So we actually haven't seen Jake Paul up against somebody. That's why I like this fight. This is actually, although it is not someone who has trained years in boxing as their main focus, it is someone who can stand up fight, who can box for at least, you know, looks like he can box a little bit, and Looks like he's a tough motherfucker. The only difference is, I mean, Tyron Woodley is tough, but the only problem is Tyron Woodley, like I said, has lost his last 4 fights or something like that. That has to be a mental thing that I don't know how Tyron Woodley is taking that, whether he feels like he needs to win this fight or whatever, because I feel like that's the mindset he needs to have. But I don't know if it's just, you know, the way the fight worked out, but can Tyron Woodley take a punch like he used to? That's the question, because we've seen Jake punch. We've seen Jake has knockout power. You got to give it to him. But we haven't seen Jake under proper pressure. When Gibb pressured him, he boxed in the back foot, but it didn't take much to knock Gibb over. Nate Robinson just sprinted at him like a fucking crackhead. You know, all he had to do was literally step back and bang, and Nate was on the fucking canvas. So we haven't seen Jake under pressure, and I highly doubt Jake is going to hit Tyron Woodley a few times, and Tyron Woodley's going to be like, oh shit, that really hurt. Let me just curl up in a ball. I highly doubt that, you know what I mean? But we'll have to see. But yeah, I just thought I would do like a little breakdown of, you know, who I think is where, what I think they can improve on. Just before I give my final prediction, I will literally say the things. I'll break down what I think of their stances, I guess you could say. Tyron Woodley looks sharp. Like I said, my only problem is I did watch a few more sparring footages of Tyron Woodley off camera, and he leaves himself very open. That I don't know if Jake is experienced enough in the moment to counter on that, but if he is, Tyron Woodley could be in trouble because he leaves himself very open. Jake also leaves himself quite open. I saw Jake do a few combos. The combos look good. They didn't look like enough power to knock Tyron Woodley out though. But that might have just been because it was in sparring. He wasn't properly hitting, you know what I mean? But then again, you also have to consider, you know, Jake looked good in sparring. He was beating up his partner, but you got to feel it is that guy's not Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley's going to fight back. The guy Jake was sparring just curled up in a ball, and Jake slapped him about. And it's like, you got to think to yourself, because you got to be fair to Jake. Was the guy curling up in a ball because he's trash and Jake is just beating up someone who doesn't have experience? Or was he curling up in a ball, despite him, he could actually box, but because Jake was beating him up so badly? You got to give Jake a little bit of credit and be like, is he curling up in a ball because he's trash, or is he curling up in a ball because Jake's beating him up and he has no other resource? You know what I mean? Like, it is a possibility Jake's just beating him. But yeah, so I think Jake leaves himself very open. I think Tyron Woodley leaves himself very open. I just want to see, I think this fight will be the fight to show if Jake has it in him. How does he work under pressure? Can he box? Can he keep Tyron Woodley at distance? Because I do think Tyron Woodley is going to come in and try to, you know, inside box. And what I think Tyron Woodley's going to do, I think Tyron Woodley is literally going to try and get inside and like rough, like dirty box him. I don't think Tyron Woodley's going to try and stay out and jab, because he does. Jake has the height, Jake has the reach. I think Jake might have the weight. I'm not actually sure. But Tyron Woodley, he's not going to stand outside and try and box. He's going to try and get in, hit those uppercuts, those short hooks, and try to dirty box Jake. I think Jake is going to try and keep him at a distance, and I think Jake is actually going to try and counter. That's what I think. I think Jake's game plan is he's going to try to like jab Tyron Woodley and try to get Woodley rustled up a bit, that Woodley pushes him, and then Jake can find the opening to hit him with something. That's what I think Jake's going to do, but I think Tyron Woodley's just going to get inside. So yes, I have a few different outcomes in my head of how this is going to go. I will give my final prediction though. For my final answer, I can see a possibility of Tyron Woodley winning. I can see a possibility of Jake Paul winning. You know, a lot of people, they can only see one. I can see both. I think if Jake Paul wins this fight, I think Jake Paul will win it on decision or a late TKO. I'm not sure how many rounds there are. I believe there's 6. I'm not actually sure. I think Jake will win it on a late TKO, but I doubt that. I think Jake will win it on a late TKO over Tyron Woodley. If Tyron Woodley doesn't have the mentality to like take the punch, if you get me, if he can't take a punch like he used to, well then I think Jake TKOs him. But I think that's the less likely chance. I just think if Jake wins, he wins by decision. I think if Tyron Woodley wins, he probably wins round, we'll say there's 6 rounds, because I think that's it. He'll probably win about round 4 or 5 by knocking Jake out. Not like properly, but by TKO. So I see either Tyron Woodley winning by TKO or Jake winning by decision. Those are the two most likely chances by what I see. Because I don't think, I highly doubt Jake's going to walk through Tyron Woodley, but I don't think Tyron Woodley's going to walk through Jake either. A lot of people do. I genuinely said, I'm not saying Jake is a world-class fucking boxer, but I'll give him his respect when it comes to social media influencers. He's at the top of the game. You have to give him his respect. The guy can fight. I'm not saying he's, like I said, he's world-class, but he can fight. You know what I mean? You gotta give it to him. But what is my final decision? Now, Tyron Woodley. Who am I cheering for? I'm cheering for Tyron Woodley. And this looks bad. This always looks like I just want Jake Paul to fail. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I'm not a Jake Paul fan. I respect him, but I'm not a Jake Paul fan. But it looks like I always want Jake Paul just to lose. But it's the simple case of he always fights people I like. He fought Deji and he fought Gibb. Those are UK guys. I gotta support them. He fought Nate. I'm a basketball guy. I gotta support Nate. And then he fought Ben. Ben is funny as shit. Like, I gotta support him. And then he's fighting Tyron Woodley. I literally have watched Tyron Woodley in the UFC and I've been a fan of him for a few years. So, I mean, he just keeps fighting people like that. So who do I want to win? I want Tyron Woodley to win. Right? But that is nothing to do with who I think's going to win. Who do I think's going to win? Now, there's 3 things that tell you who's going to win. 3 things, 3 instincts, I guess, that you go off. There's your brain, what your brain's saying, what your heart's saying, and what your gut's saying. Now, my brain says Tyron Woodley, he has all the tools. He's looking sharper. He has more of the experience. Jake hasn't been put under pressure. He's tough. He's going to put the pressure on Jake. And he's going to beat Jake. That's what my mind's saying. I think my mind is saying Tyron Woodley is going to put the pressure on. And it's going to be too much for Jake. And he's going to win. My heart is saying Tyron Woodley is going to come out. And Jake is going to come out. They're going to go at each other for a bit. But my heart is saying that Tyron Woodley is going to hit Jake a little bit harder than Jake's hitting him. And it's going to be a tough, rough fight. But Tyron Woodley's going to TKO him inside the 5th round. But now my gut, this is the odd one. My gut says Jake Paul's going to win. My gut says Jake Paul's going to win. But a little bit of my gut says Jake Paul's going to win by TKO and not decision, even though I think decision is the most likely option. So that's my thoughts, But it's a 2-1. But here's the biggest part, because this has to be my final answer for it, and I can't change it. It is 2-1. It's my brain and my heart versus my gut. Every single person Jake has fought so far, I've cheered for them, but I've said Jake is going to win. And I was right. I said Jake was going to beat Deji. I was right. I said Jake was going to beat Gibb. I was right. I said Jake was going to literally knock out Nate Robinson, and he did. I said he was going to knock out Ben Askren, and he did. I've literally not been wrong about a Jake Paul fight so far. So, my brain is saying Tyron. My heart is saying Tyron, and my gut is saying Jake. It is a 2-on-1, but what am I going with? The person I think is going to win the fight on Sunday, I think it is. The person I think that is going to win the fight on Sunday is Jake Paul. People are going to call me fucking insane because, like I said, it's a 2v1. But at the same time, my gut is always a better, it's always better predicting the future than my heart and my mind, simple as. It's always, you trust your gut instinct, you do, you trust your gut instinct, and I got a big gut to trust, so I mean, I'm confident with it. Like I said, I want Tyron Woodley to win. My heart, my mind says Tyron Woodley's going to win, TKO him inside the 5th round, but my gut is telling me Jake Paul's going to put it off. I genuinely think Jake Paul is going to put it off, because I can see Tyron Woodley winning, but I see more of a world where Jake Paul wins and then he goes on to fight. I'm not joking. I genuinely think Jake Paul will go on to fight that I can't say his name, the Suffin Davis guy. And I'm not saying Jake Paul is on his level, but I'm saying I think that Jake will get under his skin enough for him to literally just fight Jake, because Jake's good at that. Or maybe he'll fight Tommy Fury, I don't know. But I just see more of a possibility of Jake winning. But yeah, my prediction is Jake Paul. I want Tyron to win. But I think Jake's going to win. I don't actually know who is the favourite. I would like to think Tyron Woodley is the favourite. I would like to think he's the favourite. But I'm not sure. But I think Jake is going to win. So I hope Tyron pulls it off. I'm not putting bets on because I want Tyron Woodley to win. They're not betting against him, but I feel like I'm confident I will lose my money because I think Jake's going to win. But yeah, that's my final predictions. This video was a long ass video, but I just wanted to talk about it, talk about what I think, talk about my predictions, talk about how I thought it was going to work out. But yeah, as always, if you did enjoy, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button if you haven't yet already. Let me know your predictions down below. Who do you want to win the fight? Who do you think is going to win the fight, and how do you think they're going to win the fight? Let me know if you agree, you disagree, if anything. Let me know, what do you think Tyron Woodley is going to bring into this fight? What do you think Jake Paul's going to bring in this fight? Let me know in the comments, because it's good to have a conversation. I'm interested in y'all's opinions, so like I said, let me know who's going to win. Who do you want to win? I don't know. I'm expecting to see a lot of we want Tyron Woodley to win, but you know. But yeah, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button. Like I said, you know, have an amazing day. Think positive, test negative. I've been Undisputed. This is my prediction video for Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. Come on, Tyron. Prove my gut wrong. But yeah, as always, have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. So peace. Fearless.